everyone and welcome back to my channel. I feel like I'm squinting right now. I don't know if it's the lights around me, but it's like 9 o'clock at night and I don't know, I guess it feels like there's like, you know, when you go outside and the sun is super bright, that's how it feels right now. So I'm just like adjusting. But for today's video, we're going to be talking about my personal recommendations for fantasy books that are going to be perfect for fall. And I think this is going to be my favorite book recommendation video for the fall series that I've been doing, only because fantasy books are probably my favorite genre. And I don't know about you guys, but for fall specifically, I think that it's the most perfect time to read any type of fantasy book. It just puts you in the mood. And I'm not really sure if it's because of like the medieval like aspects in a lot of in a lot of books, or like the magic that goes in it. But for me personally, when I think of fall, I think of reading fantasy books. So this is a collection of 10 recommendations that are either I've read in the past or they're new releases and I just haven't gotten around to reading them yet, that I would recommend for this upcoming season. So if you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe down below. And if you have any fantasy book recommendations, please leave them in the comments because I'm always on the lookout for a good fantasy book. And without further ado, let's jump into the video. So I've talked about this book before on my channel, but the first book that I wanted to recommend for fall is For the Wolf by Hannah Whitten. This is a duology, so this is one of 2 books, but For the Wolf centers around Red, who is a sister to the queen, and she is set to be sacrificed. They have like this thing where if there's the 2 daughters, the first daughter is, you know, heir to the throne, the second daughter is to be like given to the wolf, given to this enchanted wood, this enchanted forest that is supposedly holding hostage their gods. She is set to give herself over, and they give her this beautiful red cloak. What does that remind you of? To, you know, come to face to face with this wolf. No woman who has been given over to the wolf before has ever come out. So again, what does this make me think of? If you're thinking Red Riding Hood, then you are right. The book definitely has fairy tale retellings in it. You can, as you're reading, you're gonna get a sense of Red Riding Hood, Beauty and the Beast, Snow White. You're gonna get a little bit of everything. It's very lyrical, the writing. It is dark fantasy. There's not much romance in it, so if you're not into romance, then this is the book for you. Even if you do prefer romance fantasy, I do think you should still check this book out because the writing style is perfect for fall. You have an enchanted forest, you have Red Riding Hood, you have this prophecy that is trying to be broken, or like this curse that's trying to be broken to save Red, and a lot of other things I'm not going to get into because again, this is one of 2 books, but it is a story about sisters and sisterhood, as well as that little sprinkle of romance that you do get in here. So I highly recommend this book. I think I gave this book a 5-star rating, 4 or 5-star, but I'm pretty sure I gave it 5 stars, but definitely recommend this duology series. It's so good. Next up, we have The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. And this is actually another retelling of some sort of like Russian folklore and mythology. So you're gonna get like Jack Frost, or their version of Jack Frost in here. It's set in medieval Russia, and it centers around a girl who lives in a small village who is trying to defeat this curse. And we have the hero, which is again our version of Jack Frost, but it's like Russia's version, teaming up with her to try and stop these monsters from terrorizing this town. And it has a lot of cold, wintry elements that I think will be perfect for getting into these cooler seasons, these cooler months. And I love the mythology aspect to it. You have a little bit of folklore in here, and yeah, I just thought this was really cool. The cover also gives me like a cold, chilly night reading vibes. So I think if you are somewhere where it is starting to get cold, definitely pick up this book, definitely check it out. And even if you're not like me, if you're in Florida, I still think maybe it'll make you feel cold when you're reading it. I don't know, but still recommend it either way. And I wanted to mention a dark academia book in here because I love dark academia, but I wanted it to be fantasy, so I'm going to include the Atlas Paradox, which is the sequel to the Atlas 6. The Atlas Paradox actually releases this month, so I wanted to include it in here. And it does have some magical elements, which is why I'm including it in fantasy, even though it's set in sort of the real world. So we have a group of 6 individuals who have magical abilities, and so these individuals have been chosen by the Alexandrian Society to compete and try and defend the society, but only 5 out of these 6 people can be chosen. So the first book is basically learning about these 6 characters and what the society is as a whole, and them kind of competing against each other and trying to figure out how they can either all survive or how they can get on top of one another and win and become a member of this secret society. So obviously there's more to it than that because the sequel is, like I said, getting released this month, but I really enjoyed this book. I think that it has a lot of elements that are what you're looking for in dark academia. You have a school setting, secret society setting, you have a little bit of magic in there, you have a group of individuals that are highly pretentious, highly intelligent, and use that to their benefit, I guess, but also like against one another. So you have a lot of dialogue, you have a lot of character development here, and then there's like the subplot of what's going on with everything else. There's like some weird romances going on and alliances. You don't really know who to trust. So I really enjoyed this book. A lot of people have mixed feelings about it, but I personally really enjoyed it. And like I said, it is considered fantasy, so definitely pick this up if you are in the lookout or on the lookout for a dark academia book, but with some fantasy elements in it. I think you'll really enjoy it. Then we have Stephen King's Fairy Tale, which is another new release. And it is about a 17-year-old boy who inherits a key to this parallel universe. And we have like good and evil at war here. It does have some suspenseful elements in it as well because, I mean, it's Stephen King, so what else can you expect? But it does have all of those fairy tale paranormal elements that you know and love, again, about Stephen King. So I'm including it in here because if you're looking for a little bit of thriller, a little bit of action and suspense, but with fantasy elements, then definitely check out this book. It's been getting a lot of hype online, and I think for good reason. And also this cover is just giving. It is giving, guys. So definitely check this one out this fall. And what is fall? What is fall without reading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone? If you are looking for just a nostalgic, autumnal, atmospheric, short little fantasy book, then definitely check out this book, because even if you read it before when you were growing up, you want to reread it again as an adult, I think it's a perfect time to do it. It has a lot about it that is I would say autumnal. You have start of school, you have meeting new friends, you have adventure and mischief and little kids trying to solve something that is way above their heads, that is bigger than them. You have the fight of good and evil, and then you have the little magical elements in it as well. So I love this book. I love the series. I am such a Potterhead. I mean, I've got a freaking like Scentsy candle up here of the castle, so I freaking love this series. And I had it included in here, so if you haven't read it, then definitely check out this book series. But if you have read it before when you're younger, definitely check it out. It's a great time to reread the series, and it's also really fun to listen to on audiobook. So if you haven't or if you want to listen to it there, then I definitely recommend it. And then when you're done, you can go watch all the movies, because what is fall? Again, what is fall? What is October without reading or watching at least one Harry Potter movie? I'm also going to include in this list a recent read for me, which is a 5-star read, and I'm going to be talking about this until the day that I pass, because this book was just so phenomenal, and that is Once Upon a Broken Heart. And the reason why I'm including it in my fall book recommendations is the type of writing, like, I don't even know how to explain it, but when you're reading this book, when you're reading this series, you can feel everything that the characters are feeling. And it's set in like this cold type of northern realm. And we have essentially a girl who is a part of this prophecy that she is trying to solve with this group of fates, is what they call them. And she doesn't really know much about it. She is just like a normal girl that has been caught up in this prophecy. And I'm not gonna get too much more into it, but I will say that if you're looking for a lot of angst, if you're looking for those wintry type of setting in a book to kind of get you in the mood for these colder months, if you love falling in love with the villain, then definitely check out Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Never After. And if you love happily ever afters, definitely be prepared to get your heart broken. But I still recommend this book to everybody. It is so good. And again, this is part of a series, so buckle up, get yourself ready to enjoy and fall in love with this book series as I have. But definitely check out this book for fall because it is just a great read for this time of year. And then we have A Curse So Dark and Lonely. This is book 1 in the Cursebreaker series. And essentially this book centers around a prince who has been cursed to repeat the autumn of his 18th year over and over again. And he feels that the only way he can be saved from, being this beast that he turns into is by falling in love with this girl. And so this girl is from the mortal world and she's thrust into this magical system. She has no idea what's going on, who this prince is, what this curse is all about. And I don't know, it just gives me a lot. It reminds me of Outlander, but it also reminds me of kind of like Beauty and the Beast because he's turns into a beast kind of thing. So love the cover. It looks chilly, it looks eerie, but you have those fantasy elements that you love. And again, as they're trying to break this curse, they learn about one another and they start to fall for one another. But then but as all curses go, there's obviously gonna be an antagonist, someone that is trying to destroy him. So we have people working against them, trying to make sure that they are not able to break this curse. Yeah, this is book 1 in the series, so definitely check this out if you are interested in some fun little fantasy romance type of trope. I think that it's gonna give everything that you're looking for this season. And again, this cover is it just speaks fall to me. It just speaks cold, eerie, dreary, October, creepy vibes. So definitely pick this one up. And I had to include this next one. I had to. I know what you guys are thinking. I know what you guys are thinking. Allie, why are you bringing this up in this video? Why? And it's because I know you. I know that secretly, deep down, you want to reread the series, but you hate the main character. And that, my friend, is Twilight. But don't worry, because I'm not going to say Twilight. I'm going to say Midnight Sun. And that is because it is set in Edward's point of view. So if you are a Twilight fan, if you are Team Edward and you've been wanting to reread this series, definitely pick up Midnight Sun because it is the first Twilight book, but it's all in Edward's point of view. It is a good time. It's fun. It's, if you read this with me in middle school, this is your childhood. This is what you grew up with. This is how you learned about love, essentially. So yeah, I'm putting it here because you get vampires, you have the cold Washington weather, you have the setting of monsters and magic kind of in this real world, and then you have the love story there too. So it's a trifecta of a good time for fall. So definitely pick this one up, and you're welcome for putting this on the list. Okay, and then we have Flower Heart by Catherine Bakewell, and this is like a really cute cottagecore type of book. It is a fantasy romance as well, and she has these powers that she's learning to control, or else like ruining, everything that she holds dear to her family, her friends, her town. I absolutely love the cover. It is so pretty. It reminds me of fairy tales that you used to read when you were a kid and you wanted to be like these girls that lived in the forest and had flowers in their hair and stuff. I don't know, it's just so cute. And yeah, so definitely check this book out if you are in the mood for a cute little fantasy romance. A girl who is trying to just cover herself. It's like a coming of age as well, learning about herself, also trying to save those that she loves. And then we have the curse, the darkness that's around this realm, this kingdom that is threatening, you know, all of these people. And it's up to this girl, this main character, to stop everything bad from happening. So sounds like a good time. Definitely pick it up if you are in the lookout for something like this fall. Yeah, and last but not least, I am including Thistlefoot by Jenna Rose Nethercott. I think I pronounced that correct. We have another fairy tale retelling here. It's like an Eastern European folklore story. I'm actually gonna read what it's about because it's kind of a lot and I wanna make sure I pronounce everything properly here. The Yeagas siblings, Valentine, a young woodworker, and Isaac, a wayfaring street performer and con artist, have been estranged since childhood, separated both by resentment and by wide miles of American highway. But when they learn that they are to receive a mysterious inheritance, the siblings are reunited, only to discover that at their bequest isn't land or money, but something far stranger, a sentient house on chicken legs. Thistlefoot, as the house is called, has arrived from the Yeagas' ancestral home in Russia, but not alone. There's also this creature called the Long Shadow Man that they are trying to run away from. While on this journey with Thistlefoot, they are discovering more about their ancestry and their home and a lot of secrets that have been buried way deep. So it sounds really cute. It sounds like a nice, cute YA fantasy book. There's a lot of cool folklore that I've never heard of before. There's a lot of like Jewish and Russian elements in here, in mythology, that I think sounds really unique. I'm actually excited to read this book. It's been popping around a lot on my For You page, so I'm excited to pick this one up and read it for myself. But it sounds like a really cool young adult book for fall. So if that's something that you're in the market for, then definitely check this one out. But that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed listening to my fall fantasy book recommendations. Again, if you have any recommendations for yourself, please let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of my list? Do you like them? Have you read any of these books? Please let me know. I want to talk about them with you. And until next time, I will see you next time. Bye.